Imagine opening an old jar of coins and discovering a tiny silver dime that could change your life forever. Welcome to the world of Mercury Dimes, small coins with massive hidden value. These silver beauties, minted decades ago, have stunned collectors with shocking prices, some worth more than gold itself. From minting mistakes to low mintage rarities, these dimes carry secrets of the past and fortunes of today. So buckle up, because we're diving deep into the dazzling world of Mercury Dimes, where a 10-cent coin can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Now, let's start with one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in the Mercury Dime series, the 1942 Mercury Dime. It's one of those coins that looks simple but hides a story of incredible history, rare minting errors, and jaw-dropping auction prices. The 1942 Mercury Dime was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D; and San Francisco, S. Together, these mints produced hundreds of millions of dimes, but a few rare ones turn out to be worth a small fortune. Designed by Adolph A. Weinman, the Mercury Dime is a true masterpiece of American coin art. The front side, known as the obverse, shows Lady Liberty wearing a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought. Many people mistakenly believed it was the Roman god Mercury, which is why collectors call it the Mercury Dime. The reverse side features a fasces wrapped with olive branches, representing unity and peace through strength. Now, the most shocking fact about the 1942 dime is the rare overdate error, known as the 1942-41 Mercury Dime. This error happened because, during production, the mint accidentally punched a 1942 date over a 1941 die, creating a double date that looks like both years overlap. You can clearly see the 1 and part of the 2 under magnification. This rare mistake occurred at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and those error dimes are now among the most valuable U.S. dimes ever struck. Only a limited number escaped the mint before the error was discovered, and those few survivors became legendary among collectors. One 1942-41 Philadelphia Mercury Dime, graded MS 67+ by Peace GS, sold for a staggering $150,000 at auction. Another Denver Mint 1942-41D, in similar condition, fetched over $120,000. Imagine, a tiny silver coin once worth just 10 cents, now selling for more than a luxury car. But even without the error, the 1942 dime still carries impressive value. The Philadelphia issue had a mintage of about 205 million, but finding a flawless coin with full bands, sharp horizontal lines across the torch, is a real challenge. A full bands 1942 dime in MS-68 condition can sell for $1,000 to $2,000, and some ultra-high quality examples have broken the $3,000 mark. The Denver Mint 1942 D had around 60 million pieces, and while it's slightly more common, top quality examples also command serious money. Collectors are willing to pay $800 to $1,500 for coins in pristine condition, especially if they have that mirror-like luster that screams uncirculated. The San Francisco 1942 S issue is particularly interesting because it's known for being weakly struck. Many of these coins don't show the full details, especially on the torch bands. That's why a perfectly struck 1942 S dime with full bands can be worth a fortune. Some have sold for $2,000 to $3,500, depending on grade and eye appeal. And let's not forget, every 1942 Mercury dime is made of 90% silver. Even the worn-out ones are worth more than their face value due to silver's price, usually a few dollars each. But the real treasures are those rare, high-grade, or error varieties. Collectors love the 1942 dime because it represents both beauty and rarity. It's part of the last few years before the U.S. entered World War II, adding a layer of historical importance. Some of these dimes may have even passed through the hands of soldiers or families supporting the war effort, a piece of history in your palm. If you happen to find one of these dimes, here's a quick tip. Check the date carefully under magnification. Look for overlapping numbers, the 2 punched over a 1. If you see that, you might just be holding a 6-figure coin. Also, Flip it over and check the torch. If the horizontal bands are crisp and clear, it means you've got a full band specimen, which instantly multiplies its worth. In the world of coin collecting, tiny details like that make all the difference between a common find and a life-changing discovery. There's also something undeniably magical about holding a coin that has outlived generations. Think about it. The 1942 Mercury Dime is over 80 years old. It survived wars, economic changes, and countless hands. Yet, today it shines brighter than ever, not just because of its silver, but because of its story. Collectors often say that the Mercury Dime series is one of the most elegant ever made in American coinage. And the 1942 edition, especially with that overdate error, stands among the top treasures of all. Whether you're a new collector or an experienced numismatist, this dime is one you should never overlook. So next time you go through your coin jar, estate sale finds, or inherited collections, keep your eyes open for the 1942 Mercury Dime. You might be holding a piece of American history worth thousands, or even hundreds of thousands. Second up, we're going back in time almost a century to a year filled with roaring jazz, economic boom, and silent treasures waiting to be discovered. 1928. The 1928 Mercury Dime is one of those coins that captures the beauty, artistry, and shockingly high value that keeps collectors obsessed. It's elegant, it's rare in top condition, and in the right grade. It could be worth thousands of dollars. The Mercury Dime series, designed by the famous sculptor Adolf Weinman, ran from 1916 to 1945. And the 1928 issue sits right in the middle, a hidden gem from the Roaring Twenties. This dime was minted in two locations, Philadelphia, no mint mark, and San Francisco, S. At first glance, both versions might look like regular silver dimes, but don't let their size fool you. The value difference between a worn coin and a gem-quality full bands example is enormous. Let's start with the 1928 Philadelphia Mercury Dime. The Philadelphia Mint struck around 19 million of these coins. Not too rare in quantity, but extremely hard to find in top uncirculated condition with a perfect strike. In low grades, it's worth just a few dollars because of its silver content. But once you find one in mint state, MS, with full bands, sharp horizontal lines across the torch, the price skyrockets. A perfectly preserved MS-67 full bands 1928 dime can sell for $2,000 to $3,000, and an ultra-rare MS-68 example once shocked the coin world when it sold for over $10,000 at auction. The reason? Most 1928 dimes didn't survive in such perfect form. They were used daily during an era when pocket change meant something. Only a handful escaped circulation without a single scratch, and those are the dimes that now command breathtaking prices. But the real powerhouse of this year is the 1928 S Mercury Dime. Minted in San Francisco with only 7.4 million pieces, it's far rarer and much harder to find in pristine condition. San Francisco mint strikes from the late 1920s are often weaker, making a sharply detailed full bands example one of the toughest catches for collectors. A 1928 S Mercury Dime in lower circulated grades might only bring $10 to $30, but climb into mint state territory and the story changes completely. A brilliantly struck MS-65 example can fetch $1,000 to $2,500, while MS-67 full bands coins have sold for over $45,000. That's right, $45,000 for a single dime. Why so much value for such small coin? It's the combination of rarity, condition, and eye appeal. The Mercury Dime's design is already considered one of the most beautiful in American coinage. But when you find one that's been perfectly preserved, flawless surfaces, glowing luster, and crisp detail, collectors will pay astonishing amounts to own it. Let's talk about what makes the 1928 Mercury Dime so loved among collectors. Beyond its silver composition, 90% silver, 10% copper, this coin represents a piece of pre-Depression America, a time when optimism was high, industries were booming, and Art Deco influences were shaping American design. Adolf Weinman's artwork reflected that idealism. Liberty wearing a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought, and a Roman fasces on the back, symbolizing unity and strength through justice. Every detail of the design tells a story. The olive branches represent peace, while the fasces, a bundle of rods tied around an axe, stand for the power of democracy and strength and unity. These artistic choices made the Mercury Dime more than money. It became a miniature sculpture of American ideals. Now, for collectors today, the 1928 dimes are hunted for two main reasons: beauty and profit. If you're searching through coin rolls or inherited collections, here's what you should look for. 1. Check for the mint mark, a small S near the bottom of the reverse, on the left side of the torch. 2. Look closely at the bands on the torch. If they're full and sharp, you might have a full bands variety, which is where the big money is. 3. Watch for luster. Coins that shine with a natural mint glow are worth far more than dull or cleaned examples. To put it simply, a clean 1928 Mercury Dime in perfect condition could pay for your next car, while an ordinary one might buy you a cup of coffee. That's how big the value gap is between common and extraordinary examples. One reason why 1928 Mercury Dimes are becoming even more sought after is that collectors are upgrading their sets. As the number of high-grade coins available shrinks, prices are climbing every year. In the last decade alone, top-graded examples have doubled or tripled in value. Let's look at one record-breaking example. In 2021, a 1928 Mercury Dime graded MS 67 plus FB, full bands, sold for just under $45,000 at a heritage auction. The bidding war was intense. Collectors from around the world competed for the chance to own that shining masterpiece. It was a simple dime, yet it symbolized wealth, rarity, and beauty combined. Even slightly lower grades are valuable. A 1928 S in MS66 FB can easily reach $7,000 to $10,000, while a bright MS65 full bands can sell around $3,000 to $4,000. And don't think only uncirculated coins matter. Even a lightly worn example with good eye appeal can attract attention. People love these coins not only for value, but for history. Some 1928 Mercury Dimes might have passed through the hands of a 1920 shopkeeper, a jazz club musician, or even a young child during those roaring years. Every scratch and mark tells a piece of that story. The 1928 Mercury Dime perfectly balances accessibility and exclusivity. You can find one fairly easily in circulated condition, but finding one that meets collector-grade perfection is like searching for treasure. That's what makes this coin so addictive. It keeps people searching, hoping, and dreaming. So, the next time you come across a Mercury Dime from the 1920s, don't just glance over it. Hold it under good light, look for that mint mark, inspect the torch bands, and check the overall shine. You never know, you might be holding a $10,000 or even $40,000 coin without realizing it. That's the thrill of coin collecting. The mystery, the excitement, and the chance to uncover history and fortune in the palm of your hand. The 1928 Mercury Dime is living proof that even a small piece of silver can hold incredible stories and unimaginable value. It's not just currency, it's art, it's history, and for the lucky few who find the right one, it's life-changing money. Third up, we're traveling to one of the most difficult times in American history, 1931, the heart of the Great Depression. Factories were closing, jobs were disappearing, and even small coins were scarce in people's pockets. But amid that struggle, the 1931 Mercury Dime quietly emerged, a coin so small, yet now known for its beauty, rarity, and shocking auction prices that can make any collector's heart skip a beat. The 1931 Mercury Dime was minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver. Unlike earlier years with massive production, 1931 saw one of the lowest mintages in the entire Mercury Dime series. And that scarcity has made it one of the most desirable coins in the collection world. Let's start with the 1931 Mercury Dime, the true star of this year. Only 1,260,000 pieces were minted in Denver, a shockingly low number compared to tens or even hundreds of millions in other years. This makes it one of the lowest mintage dimes of the entire series, and collectors know just how powerful that rarity is. When fewer coins exist, demand naturally skyrockets. In circulated condition, a 1931 D-dime might bring $50 to $100, depending on where. But when you step up to uncirculated grades, the numbers get exciting. A Mint State 65, MS-65, coin can sell for $2,000 to $3,000, and a full bands example can reach $5,000 or more. In higher mint states like MS-67 full bands, auction results have stunned even experts. Some have sold for $10,000 to $18,000, depending on eye appeal and strike sharpness. That means a dime once worth 10 cents could now pay for a brand new motorcycle, or more. The 1931 D issue is known for its solid strikes compared to other San Francisco or Philadelphia issues of that era. The Denver Mint often produced coins with nice details, and when those details survive untouched, they create masterpieces collectors dream of owning. The luster, texture, and sharpness of the 1931 D-dime make it one of the most elegant survivors of its time. Meanwhile, the 1931 Philadelphia Mercury Dime also carries its own value. With only 3,150,000 coins minted, it's scarce compared to most other Mercury dimes. While not as rare as the Denver version, high-grade examples are still very valuable. A standard circulated one might sell for $20 to $50, but in mint condition, it climbs fast. MS-65 examples often sell for $500 to $1,000, and full bands pieces in MS-67 or higher can reach $5,000 to $7,000 or more at major auctions. The 1931 Mercury Dime is also one of the last issues before the mint took a long break in production. After 1931, no dimes were struck in 1932 or 1933 because of the Great Depression. People weren't spending, businesses weren't moving, and millions of coins from earlier years were still sitting unused. That pause in minting gives the 1931 issue an even greater historical significance. It's like the final breath before the storm. Collectors love that connection. The 1931 dime represents survival, both literally and symbolically. It's a coin born in hardship, but preserved in beauty. Many see it as a reminder that even in dark times, something elegant and enduring can emerge. The Mercury Dime's design by Adolf Weinman still shines with artistic brilliance in this year. On the obverse, Liberty's winged cap stands for freedom of thought, while the reverse fasces wrapped with olive branches represents peace through strength. Every tiny detail, from the curls of Liberty's hair to the bands of the torch, reflects craftsmanship that today's coins rarely match. The 1931 D Mercury Dime especially attracts attention because it's not just rare, it's a conditional rarity. That means there might be many worn-out examples, but finding one in top mint condition with sharp full bands is incredibly hard. Only a few dozen in that level exist today, and that's why collectors are willing to pay life-changing prices. One record-breaking sale came in 2022 when a piece just graded MS-67 plus full bands 1931 D Mercury Dime sold for an unbelievable $18,600. The bidding was fierce, with collectors knowing how nearly impossible it is to find a gem like that. And every year, as more people enter the coin hobby and fewer of these top-quality pieces remain on the market, values continue to rise. Even the lower mintage 1931 P dimes, though less rare, have been increasing in value. A few decades ago, you could buy one for under $10. Now, even average condition examples sell for 5 to 10 times that amount. The trend is clear. Rare Mercury dimes, especially those from the early 1930s, are skyrocketing in value. The silver content also adds to their appeal. Like others in the series, the 1931 Mercury Dime is 90% silver, meaning it has real intrinsic worth even in damaged condition. But collectors aren't after the metal. They're after the story, the rarity, the perfection, and the legacy that these small coins carry. Imagine holding a dime that has survived through 90 years of American history, from the Great Depression through World War II, all the way to modern times. It's a time capsule in metal form. And if that dime happens to be a 1931D with a sharp, glowing strike, you're not just holding history, you're holding a small fortune. If you're checking your coins, here's how to spot the rare ones. Flip the coin to the reverse side. Look just to the left of the base of the torch. If you see a tiny D, you've got the Denver Mint variety. Inspect the bands on the torch carefully. If all horizontal bands are sharp and separated, you might have the coveted full bands example. Keep an eye out for natural luster, that silvery shimmer that tells you the coin hasn't been cleaned or polished. Cleaning can ruin collector value instantly, so natural beauty is key. Collectors often say that owning a 1931 Mercury Dime feels like holding a secret of resilience and artistry. It's one of those coins that never loses demand because it's beautiful, historically significant, and extremely scarce in mint state. So if you ever find one hiding in an old coin album, tucked in a box of silver, or sitting in a family heirloom collection, look twice before you let it go. You could be staring at a coin worth $5,000, $10,000, $000, even $18,000 or more. That's the shocking magic of the 1931 Mercury Dime, born in one of the toughest years in U.S. history, yet today standing as a shimmering reminder that even in hard times, something valuable can endure.